King Sombra, a force to be reckoned with, and according to my community, the most evil antagonist in all of MLP G4 and G5. But there's something I was always confused about. Why does the Sombra in Season 9 sound and feel so different? Of course there are production reasons, but that wasn't enough for me. I wanted a lore explanation, and guys, I think I found it. Sombra was introduced as an indomitable force of darkness, only stoppable through the magic of the Crystal Heart. He was defeated, and as far as we know, got destroyed. But in Season 9, we see Discord restoring him. And while I can believe that Discord has a lot of power, restoring the dead never seemed to be a part of it. At least not as far as we have seen. I don't think he would have been as scared about Fluttershy getting hurt if he could just revive her at any point. That even seems beyond his abilities. That's why I believe that the Sombra we saw in Season 9 isn't the real Sombra, and more like an image that he created to serve as his pawn in a plan to unite the Legion of Doom. But that's not where it ends. We get a lot more hints at this when we start treading dangerous territory. The comics. In the comics, specifically the Siege of the Crystal Empire storyline in issue 34 to 37 of the Friendship is Magic comics, alongside the Friendship is Magic issue 1, we get a whole backstory and information for our dear king. In this story, it is revealed that he isn't as evil as we thought. He is corrupted, and led along by the species he belongs to, the Umbrum, Shadow Ponies. This story ends with the princesses and Radiant Hope, Sombra's childhood friend, combining their magic to release him from the Umbrum's power and remove all that made him evil. If you want the more detailed versions, check out my videos on the mentioned comic issues. This reformed Sombra leaves our heroes to go on a quest to restore Princess Amore, who he turned to stone and shattered in ancient times. The point here being that the Season 9 appearance couldn't have been the real one. He had been reformed. Also, just look at this in Season 9. He is fabulous. That's not the dark creature we saw in this backstory. Once again, that's why I see it as likely that the Sombra from Season 9 is an image and a pawn created by Discord's magic. That would explain why he isn't entirely the same. It's what Discord thought of him and imagined him being like. Arrogant, self-centered, and the perfect pawn to show the others that one of them isn't enough to defeat their foes. Now you might be telling me that you don't consider the comics canon, and to that I say, screw you, this is my video. I have more fun considering them canon, so I'll include them. And besides, that's why I started with the show reasoning for this. But I gotta admit, this theory has some problems, starting with the fact that none of the ponies were saying anything about Sombra actually being reformed. But I'd say that makes sense. They were baffled by his appearance, but instead of the reason being that they thought that he should have been destroyed, they thought he should have been in his other form. You might also be asking why they destroyed him in the end after all, if they were so baffled by it. I'd say they just didn't have a choice, especially after Discord got shut down, so they resorted to destroying him because that was their last resort. In the end, it's a production reason. They changed the voice actor, that's why he sounds different. But where's the fun in that explanation, right? And this theory serves another purpose next to explaining this. It also serves to show that this comic does in fact still fit in the canon. It's a heavily debated topic in general, and people like to use this as an example of the comic's inconsistencies. But this here might explain it. The reformed Sombra still exists somewhere in the MLP world, because this was not the real one. So his appearance in Season 9 doesn't make this amazing comic ending not make sense. I know how far-fetched it sounds, it's a crack theory, but it's what I do. Instead of searching for faults and mistakes, calling them inconsistencies, I find it more fun to search for ways to explain these inconsistencies. That way confusing things don't make me mad, but rather get me excited to figure them out. It's way more chill than worrying over things that are wrong. Like, do you sit there in your life, just pointing out everything that's wrong, without doing anything about it? I would hope not. You try to fix and explain things. And this is one such explanation. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. But that's about all I have to say on the topic. What do you think? Does this theory make sense? Would this make you consider checking out the comics and forming an opinion on it yourself? Let me know. Join my Discord and discuss some more. Thanks to my supporters, especially to Maverick. And until next time, fellow Bony Spoony fellas, and bye.